This conference will now be recorded.
Sorry, Chuck. One day I'll remember. Sorry about that. I'd like to call the caucus meeting of June 16th, 2020 to order. Present are council members Broussard, Williamson, Schuman, Limpert, Heeman, Glassburn, and Kelly. Our clerk of council, our human resources director, finance director, law director, safety service director, and our guests this evening. First on our things to do for tonight is, are there any additions or corrections to the caucus meeting minutes of May 19th and June 2nd? Okay, seeing none, those are approved as written. Tonight we have two pieces of legislation to be considered for suspension of the rules. Both are on first reading. The first is Ordinance 2020-63, which we just spoke about in the Finance Committee. Councilman Schuman.
Yes, this actually was passed and recommended to Council 3-0 with suspension. It sounds like something we need to get moving on as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from council? Any objection to suspension? Seeing none. And the next piece of legislation to consider for suspension of the rules this evening is Ordinance 2020-64, which is sponsored by all council members, and it's our ordinance to revise the codified ordinances by adopting replacement pages. If it is council's pleasure to go ahead and put this in committee, that's fine. My recommendation was to just pass it on suspension tonight, as this is something that we do usually at least once a year, if not twice a year, and just to make sure that that our replacement pages are up to date. Does anyone have any questions regarding this legislation? Any objection to suspension of the rules on this legislation? Okay, thank you. And now moving forward to assign for committees legislation on first reading, Resolution 2020-52, Environmental Control, and Ordinance 2020-65, 66, 67, 68, 69, and 70, Intragovernmental Relations. And looking to schedule committee meetings for next Tuesday, June 23rd. Councilwoman Heeman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to schedule for 7 o'clock, please, 2020-52, which is the ordinance with regard to the purchase of a truck with additional equipment for the wastewater treatment plant. And I would like the mayor and
I'm sorry, Councilwoman.
You didn't hear any of that, did you?
Well, we heard that you wanted up to the mayor, but then you cut out.
Yeah, Director Glonner, if it's the mayor's pleasure to have him attend. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Glassburn.
Assuming that Councilwoman Heeman needs no more than 10 minutes, I'd like 5 minutes. I would like to schedule intergovernmental relations at 7:05 for the 6 pieces that were mentioned earlier. And I suppose all of council is welcome to attend, and any representative of the administration, the mayor, wishes to designate or himself.
Thank you. Councilman, approximately how long do you think you would need for this meeting? And the reason I'm asking is because we do need to schedule a special council meeting that evening. So if you're anticipating perhaps an hour-long discussion, I would then recommend us scheduling our special council meeting for either 8:15 or 8:30. Any?
So in the process with the Charter Review Commission, I was fortunate enough to be able to attend all of their meetings virtually and in person. There were some of the 6 amendments that were passed had concerns expressed by some council members, so I think there will be some discussion. I do think that either 8:15 or 8:30 would be prudent. I would lean towards 8:30, but if anyone else wishes to weigh in, I would be open to suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you. Council members, any particular feeling one way or the other, or 8:30 for a special council meeting? Going once, going twice?
8,
Okay.
8:15.
8:15. Mr. Limpert, are you, you're hedging our bets here. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you. So then this evening, we will set a special council meeting for Tuesday, June 23rd, for the purpose of considering on third reading Resolution 62, and on second reading, provided that it leaves committee, Resolution 52, and then ordinances 65, 66 through 70 with the Charter Review Commission language. And then finally, we will schedule a special council meeting for Tuesday, June 30th. So that will be our last special council meeting before we roll into our traditional month of July vacation. And then we will resume again in August. Does anyone have any questions or comments at this time? Okay, seeing none, then we will conclude our caucus at 7:53 p.m.